Hey, what's up, fam? And welcome back again to Recap Kickback. It's me, your host, Chappell, and I am back once again, to talk to you during this lovely Black History Month and celebrating 1 year of Recap Kickback here. And with me, of course, my for the second year, obviously, it's my great, amazing co-host who will be asking me about all of my business today. It's Mari Forth. Mari, welcome.
Hey, yes, it's Black History, and we're going to interview the blackest person I know.
Don't get into my shows because there might be a little mixture here. Mari's not wrong. Today, we are going to repeat an exercise that we done in the past. We once talked
got
about
good feedback from. Everybody loved it, so they're going to
people.
love this one even more, I think.
People are obsessed with you. Okay, I've been to live events with Mari before, and people are like, "Can you get Mari for me?" I'm like, "Okay, got you." Like I'm like corralling the line, and so I was not shocked that people went up for it. So this time around, we are going to talk about Chappell's 10 greatest television shows of all time, or at least the ones, according to me, or at least the ones that I think have helped me become me. I think that is I really tried to take the assignment seriously and like think about, okay, like Mari gave some really good explanations behind hers. And so I was like, okay, think hard because you've watched a lot of TV and you got to figure out which ones actually matter. So yeah, Mari, I think I might be, okay, I think I'm ready. I think I got it.
All right, let's go. I know the people are dying to know. I'm pretty sure we got some plugs first, right?
Oh yeah, of course. But first of all, make sure you are subscribed here at recapkickback.com. Make sure you go to recapkickback.com/subscribe to subscribe on all podcast platforms. Or if you're watching here on YouTube or not watching here on YouTube, youtube.com/@recapkickback. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button right here, and let us know that you're enjoying the podcast because you can come see our beautiful faces. Sometimes we have slides, we have visuals as well to go with things. And so we shall see what that looks like today as we discuss my top 10 shows of all time. Also coming this week, we did a Black History Month Brant Steele of Black cartoon characters, and it got real. It got real. There was blood. It is recorded. It is ready to be dropped. This week you will be getting that. It's me, Gia, and Isaiah talking about which Black cartoon character will be the sole survivor. Yeah, Mari, it's fun. Heroes, healers, and hustlers style. So we have to sort them all into their category. Yeah. But we have to put these Black cartoon characters into different categories. So tune in to find out, first of all, who's the ultimate soul survivor, but also who are the heroes, healers, and hustlers of the Black cartoon characters. And check that out and let us know what you think by making sure that you email us, recapkickback@gmail.com, or put it in the comments, obviously, and let us know what you think about the podcast. Anything else, Mari, we got to plug?
Nope, I think that's it.
Yeah, so I guess we shall get into it. I don't even know where to start, Mari. What do I do?
Well, you got to start with this is not ranked. Ranking is arbitrary, but start with one of the most impactful shows ever that you like. Just like I did. Start with that.
I think I got to do these kind of like, I want to just kind of build to maybe how I got here. What are the shows that brought me to this point?
I love that. So Baby Chappell. We're starting with Baby Chappell.
Baby Chappell. Little Chappell. No, you joking, but I'm so serious. I really thought about like, okay, when you were a kid, what were you watching? Okay.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, I was watching Doug.
Ooh, okay.
First of all, I was a Nickelodeon kid.
Okay, that's what I was about to say. The Nickelodeon Doug, not the Disney Doug.
I checked it out. I peeked. But I didn't like Patty's haircut. I didn't like the voices. It's fine. It's fine. It's not the OG Doug. Doug is my guy. I almost picked Hey Arnold, but I had to be true to like the beginnings of Chappell. And it starts here. I was a Nickelodeon kid. There was Cartoon Network. There was Disney Channel.
Yeah.
And they had cartoons, but they didn't speak to me. Like, these like coming of age stories of like the one kid in the household. Like it just got that kind of just always like kind of get my attention. Like I used to watch Boy Meets World, Hey Arnold, obviously, but Doug
Mm-hmm.
is where it started. I don't know. It was just something about this guy being in his own head, imagining his own like all of the fun things in life. It really just kind of it spoke to me. I don't know.
So my husband is a Nickelodeon kid. He mostly because he said they couldn't afford Disney and Cartoon.
Real,
They had
yeah,
basic cable.
yeah.
So he was a Nickelodeon kid. Have you gone back and watched Nickelodeon's version of Doug? Does it hold up?
So I did go watch Nickelodeon's Doug before, and it's good. It's fine, right? Like
Yeah.
Doug and Arnold, I think aged perfectly. They're fine.
Hey Arnold
Um,
aged very well.
right. They are fine.
Mhm.
They did what needed to be done. But you're right, Mario. I've gone back and watched some other older shows and thought like, oh,
Mhm.
I used to love this show. And then when I went back, I'm like, it's not as funny as I remember it being. Like, maybe my
Yeah,
comedy has matured or whatever, but I really like
never
just
that.
simple, yeah, yeah, never that. No science. But I really just like these like simple storylines. Like Doug woke up today, decided he
Mhm.
had to go do something cool with his friends, and some
Right.
type of minor incident ensues. Right? There's never any real
That's what I was
drama.
about to say. What is the plot for Doug? That is a great point. Now that I
Yeah.
actually stop and think about it, like Doug won't do nothing.
Nah, he was chilling. He showed up. He showed up one to his new school or whatever. He was a new kid in town. He met his black friend Skeeter. I said it. His black friend Skeeter Valentine, as blue as he is. He showed him how to order a honker burger.
Mhm.
And it was like from that moment on, Doug had a black friend, and I was his black friend at home. I was kind of watching along, thinking like, this is cool. I love seeing the shenanigans, the two of them hanging out, normal as little kid stuff. It wasn't super spicy. It was
Uh-huh.
just simple. It was a simpler time back then, Mari, and I really appreciated it.
And Doug was the only one who was normal color, right?
Well, yeah, Doug's family was beige. You got then you had
Mhm.
Patty's family that was golden, kinda, and I was like, you know, and then yeah, and then you had Skeeter and Roger were both shades, and like BB, I think was blue. Roger was
BB,
green.
yeah.
So I was kind of questioning like,
What
blue
is
people
happening?
black? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you gotta have to start asking around. But there were just so many Nicktoons at the time, right? Rugrats was
Mhm.
out there,
Oh,
All
Rugrats,
Real
very
Monsters
good.
was a thing.
Oh, love All
But
Real Monsters.
but I had to go to Doug for my normalcy. The kid just wants to write in his journal and
He did.
imagine things. And that was
Yep.
me. I was in my head. And I think to this day, I'm still kind of a dreamer. So it makes a lot of sense for me.
You're still banging on the trash can?
Drumming on the street light,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
like I remember when Kanye and Lil Pump dropped that you're such a fucking hoe, and they were wearing the big ass suits. I was like,
Uh,
think big like Doug.
oh,
Like, I don't know why
yeah.
that just like
Doug did have the bops. Like, he had the
hits.
bops.
They
Yeah.
had hits. The beats were making the hits. Okay, I need more allowance. Think big. It
Uh-huh.
was banging on trash. It was so much, and I
So
just
good.
my time. Okay, so yeah, Chappelle sitting in front of the TV eating cereal, watching Doug.
And real quick before we move on. What is the conspiracy theory behind Doug that he might be like in a coma or something and all of this is made up in his head? Have you heard
Excuse
that?
me? No,
Have you heard that
what?
conspiracy theory?
No, y'all
It's a
leave my Doug alone.
Yeah, it's like one of those like overdone layers things, but I think they think he's either like in a coma
In a
or he's
coma.
like in like he's dead and he's in purgatory. But I think
Oh,
people do that a lot. Like I think they try
right.
and do that with like the Rugrats too
They did
and
that
stuff
with
like
SpongeBob.
that.
Yeah, the Rugrats was like,
Yeah.
oh, Angelica's like got like split personality
Yeah.
disorder or something like that. SpongeBob, I think, was each of the seven deadly sins or something like
Evidently
that was
since that was
surrounding him.
which I think is kind of cool. I think that actually is like a pretty cool thought process. But
Yeah.
mostly, what I like about SpongeBob is that they're at the bottom of the Bikini Atoll, like where they tested the nuclear bomb, and
Oh,
the nuclear bomb turned all of those sea creatures like sentient.
oh, see, no, I didn't know
You
that.
ain't heard that? Oh my
Nah,
god.
see, see, that's why I stick with Doug.
People
It's
just be
nice and
messing.
simple.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
simple. It's nothing
yeah.
to it.
Coolest thing I seen on Doug was that he had a homeboy named Chalky Studebaker, and Chalky was good at the sports. Okay, he was basically
Yeah,
like
Rocky.
Vince from Recess, except on Doug.
Oh, I
And
love
I
reset.
remember Chalky was so good. He threw the football up in the air and caught it himself. Like he
Himself.
threw his
Mhm.
yeah, and I was like Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
So I Doug just Doug always resonates in my life. Yeah, this is my probably my flagship cartoon.
All right. So, okay, let's go to the next one. What else you have for us? Is it a reality TV show yet? No? Are we
I don't
still
know if we
staying
got
with
there
Baby
yet.
Chappelle? Okay. All right.
No. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So this is still Baby Chappelle, sadly to say.
sneaky. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, not only was I watching Comic View, I
Uh-huh.
learned how to use the VCR and I used to tape Comic View.
Look at
I used to
you.
tape Comic View because my mom made me go to sleep at 8 o'clock and I couldn't stay up late enough to watch it. So I would run the tape and record it on the other TV outside the room. And that way I could watch it the next day. I think my mom made me sleep at 9 o'clock and maybe like Comic View came on like 10 or something like that. But it was
It came
something
on
like to the
late.
fact that
Yeah.
like I couldn't watch it when it was time. So I had to figure out a way. And this is where it all begins. This is where the fool
Yeah.
comes
Mm.
because I am a studied comedian. Okay. Like I've never considered myself like a comic or anything like that. Like I can't do stand-up. I can tell a good story. That's pretty much what I'm good for. But I used to watch the greats, okay, come through on
Yes.
BET. I'm talking about, and I mean, like, I used to tape it. So it wouldn't just be watch it one time. I would watch these things on a
Over
loop.
and over.
Just,
Mm.
yeah,
So,
Monique, all of them. Just back in the day, it was so real for me.
for those unfamiliar, BET Comic View is basically a comedic showcase where it's akin to like a Def Comedy Jam,
Hmm.
where stand-up comics would come on. They'd have what would they give them, Chappelle? Like five, maybe?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think so. So they would do sometimes where they would do like full sets, right? And you probably get like
Yeah,
10, 15. And then
yeah,
eventually they started doing like a best of situation where they would just
right. I
splice
think I remember
together,
those.
like almost like a clip show where you come in, you get
Yeah,
this joke from this guy, this joke from this. That's when they had me.
exactly. And it would just be where comics can come and showcase their material to a wider audience, and specifically Black comics for
Hmm.
BET's Comic View. And it holds a special place in our community's heart. This, like I said, Def Comedy Jam.
Yeah.
I think I watched Def Comedy. There was another one. Wasn't there one more show? I wanna say I
I remember
watched
Def
more
Comedy
Def
Jam.
Comedy Jam than Comic
Yeah.
View, but I don't know. I don't, stand-up comedy is like meh for me.
Uh-huh.
But Comic View is where, like Chappelle said, a lot of the greats get their start. It
Hmm.
it's a way that comics have to shop their material. Like they have to like perform their material in order to perfect it. Um but Comic View is like, from what I understand, where comics like they bring their best stuff to Comic
Yeah.
View because they know there's going to be little Chappelle's recording it.
Yeah.
So you would say that Comic View like impacted your sense of humor
Oh
growing up?
yeah. I think a lot of my jokes are just retold versions of jokes that I got from Comic View or like, like because there's stuff that never left my mind, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll pull out like that fat man at your door. That fat man at your door. What you want, fat man? Like I don't know why like those jokes are he said, I ain't got no cookies for you, no candies for you, fat man, because you a
Mm-mm.
MWT, a man with titties. I don't know why that just like
What? Who did
stuff
that
like
one?
um, I think it was Bruce, maybe? It
Oh,
was a
Bruce
big
Bruce.
dude because he was like,
Mhm.
yeah, or maybe it was Lavelle Crawford. But I
Uh,
remember him being like, I don't even know I squares into that room like that, like that kind of
yeah.
thing. And those are just jokes that never leave me. And I think
Yeah.
again, if you kind of follow the trajectory of these shows, you'll see that again. I'm just repurposing old jokes that I got from Doug and Comic View. Like this is just all of this made me the goofball that I am because I did a lot of laughing when I was a kid.
I believe it. And this was the golden age of BT, where we had so many different things. 106 in Park, Comic View, Rap City The Basement,
Yeah.
like a lot of really good programming on BT. Any final thoughts on Comic View, or you want to move on?
No, it's not a lot that I have to share about Comic View because it's like it's not a story, it's
It
just
can, exactly.
yeah.
You gotta
It
know. It's if you know kind of thing.
Yeah, I remember watching. I watched so much of it that I remember like when Cedric the Entertainer was the host. But then like I
Mhm,
remember when I was really tapped in, when I was kind of like old enough to watch it in time, was when
mhm,
Bruce was the host. When he was the host,
mhm.
that's when I was like I was in it. And then I was there for the change of the guard. When it went on to like the next few people. I think after Bruce, it was or right before Bruce, it was Ricky Smiley, right? So I was recording the Ricky
Mm,
Smiley days. I was there for Bruce, Arnez J. Anthony Brown, Cheryl Underwood. I
100%.
was there. I probably tapped out right around Kevin Hart. And that's like '08. So like for a
Mhm.
solid like 10 years of just watching the show religiously. So yeah, kind of
Wow.
my kind of my shit. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Clown. A clown. That's me. It was born here.
Right here. Did you
Yeah.
ever did you ever think about doing stand-up comedy
Not
at
even a
all?
little bit. It never even
Mm,
occurred to me. I think I was living in kind of like a tumultuous household.
mhm.
And it was
You
just
just
like
wanted to laugh?
you had to make time to laugh. You had to
Mhm.
because there was so much going on. I really wish I could sit here and be like, no, like oh, my childhood was normal. It was not. And so there were definitely like times where it was like, I could just get to my room and just turn Comic View on. And I would say the jokes along with them. Like I would, how you get something under your like
Mm,
like an
mhm.
earworm, like that one dude was like Kiki, she bigger than you, she gonna kill you, like all that stuff is just and these are comedians that were grown then, they grown now, so
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
seen
yeah.
them now step into just roles and like be like mega stars now a lot of
Yeah.
times, where it's like I remember when they was out there with the big ass suits and the baggy pants, yeah, making problematic jokes at that, like
Mm,
it was hairy out
mhm,
there. I don't know how I survived. And then
mm.
my mama had the nerve to be like shocked when I was voted class clown of my graduating class. Like,
Tuh.
okay, so here you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Alright, what do you got next for us?
Okay.
Number
After comp,
3. See,
I actually,
I'm gonna keep count for you, unlike somebody who left
well,
me hanging.
considering I made sure I had a list of 10, I will know
Okay,
kind of where we
whatever,
are. But I actually
whatever.
don't know. I don't remember the order, so I don't know what's next. Let's see. Ha!
Oh, classic reality TV.
Yes. When people stop acting polite and start getting real,
The real world.
this this created a monster. Like if you think the Comic View
Mm.
was a problem, this is like, hey, have you ever seen reality TV before?
Tuh.
um I started watching The Real World. I'm not actually sure how I found it. Like I don't even remember. I think it was just on. And I
Right.
started watching it like one random season, probably the one that I have up on my screen, which is New
New
York.
York. Back to New
Yeah,
York. Mhm.
yeah, with The Miz and Coral,
Yep.
and just an amazing season of television. Uh, and I was hooked. I mean, I was hooked. When I got old enough, I would go to the pawn shop on the way home. I'd be walking through the streets, going on my way home, skip the bus
Mhm.
because I could, if I walk, I can stop and see and touch stuff. Okay, because I was that kid. So I skipped the bus, start walking, and I would stop in a pawn shop, and they would have old DVDs. And I remember I hit the Holy Grail one time. They had
Mm.
Real World Las Vegas on DVD, and
Yes.
the shit they should have shown on TV DVD is I bought them both. Probably cost me $5. I
Wow.
It made my life, Mari, because I had been watching The Real World
Mhm.
religiously. I mean, every time it was on, I watched it. I've probably seen most of the seasons of The Real World in order. Uh, like I didn't even
Yeah.
watch them in real time, like because I think by the time I was old enough to even like watch and understand the show, they were on like I said, they were probably back to New York by then. But I went back. I went
Yeah.
back, and started watching the older stuff. I had The Real
Yep.
World Paris on DVD. I had uh
Mhm.
I had Paris, I had Las Vegas, and I want to say I had London. It was like a three season stretch or whatever. I remember watching Hawaii, the reruns, and then this led me
Yeah.
to watching The Challenge.
Yeah.
And that again, it was just like a gateway drug to more reality TV, and that was like competition reality, and you name it from there.
It was kind of funny for me because I actually watched the challenge before I watched the real world. I
Oh,
watched like the original challenges, like the first season, Battle of the Sexes. Like I watched the challenge literally before I watched the real world. And my first season of the real world was Hawaii because
yes.
we got our shipping orders, our ship out orders for Hawaii. Um and we were due to ship out to Hawaii a month. It was like a month or 2 months after Hawaii the real world Hawaii started. So my 10-year-old kid brain is like, oh my God, we're going to Hawaii. They're gonna have us in like grass huts and stuff. Like there's
Uh-huh.
gonna be like no TV and just stupid 10-year-old shit. And then they announced Real World Hawaii. So I was like, let me watch Real World Hawaii so then I know what's gonna happen when I get to
Mm.
Hawaii. And that started one of the greatest runs of like reality TV, like to me. First off, Real World Hawaii is one of the best seasons.
It's
Full
incredible.
stop. Tech Money, Ruthie, just
Ruthie.
legends.
Mhm.
Watching Ruthie go through like her alcohol addiction on
Mhm.
TV and like just come out the other side of it, amazing. But I don't know if you remember this run, this legendary run. I watched all of these as a kid. Hawaii
Mhm.
was season 8.
Yeah.
New Orleans was season 9. Shout out to
Mhm.
Melissa.
Yeah.
Um, 10 was Back to New York. And I love Back to New York because of Coral, Mike
Mhm.
the Miz, being stupid.
Yeah.
11 was Chicago.
Mhm.
And 11, this is when we saw the Twin Towers get hit in Chicago. And literally right after we had just did Real World New York. I remember like watching the Chicago cast
Uh-huh.
react to 9/11 and just being like, this is just ridiculous.
Mhm.
And it being like we're watching people process a terrorist attack on TV, you know?
Yeah.
And then the next season is Vegas. And I
That's
mean,
my shirt.
the absolute, just the goat of real world. And then after that, like you said, Paris. So I watched all of those back to back
Mhm.
to back to back. San Diego was after that. I watched it, but I that was the one I fell off after that. Um oh no, I'm looking, I'm like, no, I did watch. I watched Karamos Philly after that.
Oh, yeah. I
Anyway,
watched Karamo and Philly. I was in high school when
yeah,
that happened.
the
Yeah.
yeah, the real world, just amazing. An amazing piece of television. Um, the effect that the real world and Survivor have, like, on society, our culture, us,
Yeah.
is like astounding. And it just sucks that we don't have the real world anymore.
Mhm.
Um, it strayed away from its original mission, I believe.
Oh, yeah, easily. When it
Mhm.
first started out, they were like trying to actually have a social experiment where they put people together who, come from different walks of life, but they wanted them to interact and like, find common ground. And
Mhm.
they were supposed to they had jobs and they were supposed to, like they like some of them were going back home, in those early days. I remember in like San Francisco and like the original New York, like some people didn't even live in the house. They would just like show up and just stay for a few days and then go home because they stayed
Yeah.
not too far away. Um, by the time it hits Hawaii, they're like, oh, they drinking on this show. And then New Orleans is
Mhm.
after that. I think Melissa might not even have been old enough to drink, and she was in New Orleans on that show. By the
Mhm.
time it gets to Vegas, it's like, oh, they having sex in the hot tub.
Vegas? Trishelle thought she was pregnant.
Oh man, the
That
Trishelle,
was such a
Steven,
good.
Frank love triangle, Alton and Irulan and their mess.
And
Arissa
Arissa getting in the middle of their mess, like,
for
girl.
no reason. Yeah. And look, these are the people who go on to shape reality TV. Trishelle just won the Traders last
Let's not
year.
talk about it.
I mean, she won the Traders last year,
Yeah, I
but I'm
know.
like, yeah, I'm like, man, I remember when they were just babies. And look, and imagine these shows aired when I was like 11, 9, 10, and I was in it. And that's how you know my mama and them were not paying attention to me, because why was I able to do this?
Latchkey kids.
Did you see how fast I went from Doug to the real world? Right? Like, it was just like the transition was quick. Okay.
It is.
So yeah, no, I cannot say enough about the real world. I love it. I think that everything that is done, the challenge is still running all this time later, and some of them are still on the challenge to this day. Yeah. I remember.
It's just so sad. No, I'm just saying, it's just so sad that we don't have this authenticness anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, the last season that I watched of Real World was like the online version, like the MySpace.
Oh, yeah.
Did you watch that? The MySpace.
That was the Facebook version.
The Facebook. The Facebook version in Atlanta, where I had to root on that black girl for being that racist white girls, but I've
seen the clip.
Had to.
I've seen the clip. Yeah. It's cathartic. It really is.
It is. But like they just kind of strayed away from the plot, and like I watch, Real World Skeletons, Real World Explosion, and it's
Explosion, yeah.
We're not even trying to cast regular people anymore type thing. So
no,
it's not surprising that the Real World is no longer a show, but it's really sad that it isn't.
Yeah, it's one of the shows that made me, because again, I become addicted to reality TV at this point, right? This becomes like I am a child who is in everybody's business, right? I know I want to know all the reality TV shows. I'm watching MTV and VH1 to get the rundowns, I'll see the interviews and stuff like that. Like I'm still watching cartoons because all the rest of the kids are talking about cartoons, but make no mistake, I'm looking for the grown folks and what they watching, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Next up.
Yep, number 5.
You mentioned it earlier. It's Survivor. This like Mari, when you talked about Big Brother last time, you talked about Big Brother and talking about how like nobody in your life is like watching the show, and you're just like, who can I talk to about this? Survivor was a little different in that everybody was talking about it for like the first season and a half, right? It was just like everybody was talking about it, and then after that, you could slowly start to see the decline where it was being watched, but it wasn't water cooler talk like it used to be, right? You get through Australian Outback premiere has the largest premiere of any season of Survivor, period. Like it's just like after the first season, it's such a phenomenon. As they come back for season 2, we see what happens in season 2, season 3 happens, season 4, and it's just like boom, boom, boom. There's so much diversity in Survivor in a weird way, because like there's not a lot of diverse characters, but the winners are so diverse in the first 5 or 6 seasons. You have Richard Hatch, who's very different from Tina Wesson, who's very different from Vecepia. Like it goes on and on. Who's very different from Ethan. Like it just goes on and on. And so you kind of can find yourself in it a little bit. And I was able to do that very quickly. Again, my friends were not watching Survivor. I had a couple that would talk to me about Big Brother, but nobody would talk to me about Survivor. So I started watching VH1. I would watch The Best Week Ever, the countdowns, all those things, the soup, whatever. If it's a clip show that's going to be talking about reality TV, I was there.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and this show, Survivor, is the most consistent show that I've ever had in my life. Like this is the one. Like it's been 40-something seasons. I've always known I can count on Survivor to be there. And crazy enough, look at us now, Mari. We literally talk about the show periodically. Yeah, like between Big Brother and Survivor, the guy was looking out for us by letting us do this. This is kind of cool.
That is for sure. That is for sure. Like I said, I didn't watch Survivor live when it first started. I started from which one came first? Cook
Islands?
Yeah, Cook Islands.
Race season.
Yeah, I sure did, and stayed.
Yeah.
But Yeah, and I always say it. I stumbled upon Survivor on the Outdoor Channel when I
Yeah,
moved
I
to
used to watch that
Maryland.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when they would just play every season, every
and
episode of
on a loop.
Survivor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how I discovered Survivor. Mhm.
I I remember when I found that channel, it was like the best day of my life
Amazing.
because
Yeah.
I was like, "Thank God I can go back and watch the older seasons," and it would you didn't get to choose, it was just
Nope.
on, so I was
It was
like,
just
"F it,"
on.
so I would just watch Survivor episodes at random, and so, yeah, here it is years and years and years and years later, I get to talk about it, I'm talking about Australian Survivor now with
Right
Shannon
now,
on
yeah.
our RJP, which is crazy to me,
Mhm.
because, again, this is a show that, like, I watch so much. I don't even know if I understood the strategy of it. I just watched it because it was fascinating watching the people interact, watching,
Exactly.
like the nature of it all. This is I think when I was little, I kind of almost consider like I wonder if I could go on Survivor. But it was never a thing that I was like applying to do. It's just never my
Mhm.
bag to go out there and do that kind of stuff. But watching it, oh yeah, this is when I was like, I want to work on Survivor. I want to hold the camera. I wanted to be on the like,
Mm.
let me hold the microphone. I just want
The
to be
boom
there.
mic. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Never got that job opportunity though.
So we gotta know somebody who can pull some strings.
Yeah. Well, the crazy thing now is that we actually know so many people
So many
involved in Survivor
people.
and
It's
Big
so
Brother. Like
ridiculous. Yeah.
we are like a arm's length away from people who
Yeah.
are on two of our favorite shows of all time. It's crazy.
Yeah. It truly, truly is. It just, God works in mysterious ways. And we are sitting here, especially since like for me, I had just moved from Hawaii to Maryland my junior year of high school. I didn't know
Yeah.
nobody. I didn't know nobody. Everybody in my school had known each other since kindergarten.
Mhm.
And I had some friends, but I didn't have a lot. So all I did was do my homework, get good grades, and watch Survivor on the Outdoor Channel when I got home from school. And
Yes.
then be on like MySpace and the
Right.
phone. But like that was it. Like
Yeah.
so I loved it. I just binged it all, just go through that channel.
Yeah. No, it was my stuff. And so it just every time I think about Survivor, I get happy because I just think about like how far I've come from like just being like, somebody talk to me about this damn show. To now being like, oh, I gotta watch it this week because of Club Condo. Like it's become work. And I'm like, I love it. Yeah, this is it. I don't know. Like I said, I never had dreams of doing it, but I think the appeal was just escapism. Again, I was living in chaos.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, if I could just go do that and maybe get
Go
a
be
bunch of
on a
money, then I can move.
desert island. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool, and so I would watch other people do it.
Yeah. It's so fascinating how we've become voyeurs.
Yeah, yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just something else to watch, so get to watch somebody else's adventure since I can't have the one I wanna have.
Right. Mm. Yep. It pays
Alright,
the bills. All right,
so
6.
6. Lucky there's a Family Guy. Lucky there's a man
Yes.
who positively can who,
Came to make
all
us.
the things to make us effing cry. Um, I So I'm torn here because Family
Okay.
Guy is definitely like this is definitely one of the problem children in my life. Like I
Oh, of
remember in the
course.
early
Bad
stages, I
influence.
remember bad influence. I was there. I reference Family Guy so much that
Me
I don't even
too.
know it anymore. I don't even like it. I just be saying stuff that it just like, and it's so many Family Guy references. I talk in Family Guy references. People who don't watch as much Family Guy don't
Yes.
catch it, but I'm
Exactly.
always talking in Family Guy references. I think the first like 10 seasons, I think I probably got like majority of them memorized, maybe. The problem is, Family Guy fell off for me later on. Like it
It
just it
does.
wasn't
Yeah.
it doesn't hold up for me. Even watching a lot of the old ones, I'm like, they're funny, but like not in a vacuum, like I mean like only
Mhm.
like in specific situations. Like some of it, I'm like, I don't know. But I cannot stress how much Family Guy I've watched. I eventually will jump ship from Family Guy and start watching American Dad because it was blacker.
Oh my god, I
Um,
love American Dad. Yes. Uh-huh.
yeah, yeah. I
When it went
switched
to
over to
PBS?
yeah, I switched over to American Dad because I was like, I need some black content, and I needed Stephen
Not
Anita
the
Smith. I
black
needed, yeah,
Roger, who
Ro-
graduated from Howard.
yes, Stelio Cantos. Yeah, I needed all of that. So I ended up going to American Dad at some point. I've seen the hot tub episode of American Dad probably more times than I've seen any other episode of television ever.
I
But
like the Ricky Spanish episodes.
yeah, I love Ricky Spanish. Yeah, but it all goes back to Family Guy. I
It
swear.
does.
I remember my cousin got the Family Guy game, and I was just like, I don't even want to play. You play. I'm just gonna sit here and watch because it felt like I was watching the show. Like,
So,
this is good enough for me.
Chappell, do you remember? So, Family Guy premieres in 1999. It
Mhm.
goes from 1999 to 2001, and it's
Canceled.
canceled.
Oh yeah.
And then it comes back in 2005. When I tell you, me and my brother to this day talk in Family Guy, like whenever we're around each other, it's the longest running Family Guy reference fest. And it
Yeah.
was because we watched it as kids. And then it was like one of those things where it was like a fever dream because it was like, does anybody remember
Y'all don't remember
that
this show? Yeah.
that show, that cartoon? And everybody's like, no, what are you talking about? You're like, you don't remember the cartoon, and and then it comes back because it gets second life on Adult Swim and Cartoon Network, and they they come back in 2005. Sorry, I just had a greased up deaf guy moment
Greased
there.
up deaf guy.
You're never gonna catch me. And they've been on ever since since 2005. So like it's one of those shows that definitely like stuck with me as a kid, and I know you, and it's like, but just like The Simpsons, it's been on for a very long time, and it's kind of, but we still have the memories.
We still have the memories. What's your favorite Family Guy reference to just throw out? Because I have so
okay.
many.
Again, love greased up deaf guy. Any or like
yeah.
Anytime somebody wipes out and their arm is like
the fall. Yeah.
Whenever their arm is just completely behind their back. Yeah. What about you? What's your favorite Family Guy reference?
I love when Stewie is he's hanging out with the British girl. I think her name is Olivia, and she's like, the life of the wife is ended by the knife. And he's like, life. Or I think there's another moment where she says something like, "You are the weakest link. Goodbye." And he's like, "Oh, you got me. That's so rich. Woo. You got any more knee slappers out there for you?" And that same episode, yeah.
What about where's my money? Where's my money,
Where's
man?
my money?
Where's my money?
Huh? You got money to buy fake mustaches, but you can't give me my money.
You said from the same episode, the My Fair Lady episode. I think you're referencing.
Yeah, no, I think that's two different episodes. There's one where he's doing like the little tandem song and dance with the one girl.
Oh, with the one. Okay, yeah. Okay.
And,
I got you.
And the guy, their little acting coach is like, okay, you're a fetus. Okay, now, okay, you're starting it out now. Woo, burst through the placenta. Who? Like that's what. He's like, that's wearing blue socks with black shoes. Ew, or something like that. I love British drive-bys. Oh, Reginald, I disagree. And he just draws off. I'm sorry. I could do this forever. I literally could.
Cutaway scenes. Oh my gosh.
By episode, cutaway scenes. Stewie playing the banjo. Don't matter. My CB said her name was Mimi. I got blisters on my fingers. All right. So all that to say, clearly, I talking Family Guy. This did it. This was like, yeah.
I love Family Guy.
Yeah. The warden has left. The inmates are running the asylum, and it was Family Guy for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good choice.
I can't. It's just one of them shows that like no matter what, I always can reference it. But Mari, I had to pivot from there.
Okay, where are we going? Oh yes, I should have known.
God bless you, y'all. So this is around, in my mind, this is around the same time, right?
Flavor of Love.
Yeah, I'm in high school. I'm watching reality TV. They have The Bachelor, but what if we
Which I
had
watched.
right? But I didn't. And they were
I
like, well, what if
know.
we had a black bachelor? What if we call it the Bachelor? And this concept that there was going to be a Bachelor way back when was so novel, but people were like, I don't know if the world is ready for a Bachelor. But VH1 looks at their current roster of celebrity reality stars. They had been having the show The Surreal Life was on for a while, which was basically like a real world, but with celebrities. Yeah, and then from
great show.
From The Surreal Life, you get Flavor Flav and Brigitte Nielsen. They were both on there. They end up having a love thing that was very weird. And they ended up a show called Strange Love.
Because wasn't she had a husband at the time, right?
I think she had just left her husband. So she had once been married to Sly Stallone, but I think she was away from him by then. And there was like second husband, I think.
Remember, she wasn't her like Max or something?
Yeah, Max. Right? I think his name was Max. Yeah, she was like, I'm leaving him to be with Foofy, and Foofy is Flavor Flav. And so they got their own show, The Flavor of Love, and from this is the only show I can say this for of all the shows we talked about that I know for a fact happened. Episode 1, day 1, minute 1, I was there. It wasn't a show I ever had to go back and watch. I never had to catch up on it. I never heard about it from nobody. Episode day 1, minute 1, Flavor of Love premiere. I was sat.
Yeah.
And everything about this show will go on to just like solidify me as just somebody who was stuck watching reality TV. I watched everything on VH1. If it had a celebrity, if it had a camera, if it had, I was there. You name it. Then I go to Bravo at that point, start watching Top Chef and Blowout and Project Runway and all those shows. Like I'm now I have to hit every reality show, but it starts here because Flavor Flav as the Bachelor is the most unhinged thing that's ever been cooked up on television, and there is no second. This is 1A amongst all the rest of the B's and C's and D's. This is it. Number one.
Chappell, this Flavor of Love single-handedly shifted the culture. Like it truly did. It's given us where we're at now, where it's like the most unhinged reality television you've ever witnessed. Not only is Flavor Flav like being the Bachelor, but it's not stuffy like the Bachelor. As somebody who's watched the Bachelor since the early 2000s, Flavor of Love was such a different take because he's not handing out roses. No. He's giving them names. I mean, talk about genius. Whoever came up with that concept, give them a raise, because the first thing Flav does, the women introduce themselves to Flav, and he's like, I'm bad at remembering names, so I'm gonna give people nicknames. Your name is Sweetie. It births New York, Tiffany New York Pollard.
Queen.
It launches Charm School.
It launches Charm School. It launches Rock of Love. It launches Rock of Love Bus. I Love Money. I mean, the Frank the Entertainer had a show, a dating show in the basement. Real Chance of Love. The Stallionaires had a show. This man, Flavor Flav, all you bitches is his sons. Okay, this is the way. All of them. Bend the knee. Okay, Mario. The concept of giving these people, grown ass women, nicknames, it goes so far as it starts here. You get 3 seasons of Flavor of Love. You also get I Love New York giving people nicknames. You also get The Entertainer giving people nicknames. You also get Bret Michaels on Rock of Love giving people nicknames.
Well, he got 2 seasons too, I think.
Yeah, and then you got Rock of Love Bus. And everybody got
Daisy of Love.
Daisy of Love as well. Yeah. And they got nicknames because of Flavor Flav, because Flavor Flav is too much of a Flavor Flav to decide to like just call these people by their names. He's like, nah, I'm gonna call you by your nickname. And these nicknames were ridiculous and they stuck.
Because Tila Tequila's The Double Shot of Love, that was after this, right? But she didn't give them names. Yeah, she didn't give them nicknames.
That was MTV. I don't think they got to
that's what it was. Yeah. Okay.
VH1 shows were all giving out nicknames at that point.
Yeah.
and Tila Tequila, she can go to hell, and so there's that.
That's
Um,
her.
yeah, yeah. So anyway, but yeah, Flav does it here. He discovers New York basically and just delivers her to us, our TV screens. We meet a star who is currently still on television
still.
today.
And shout out to Flavor Flav because he is like he's like a cool uncle now. He's sponsoring US Olympic teams.
Women's polo team, yeah.
Yeah, he's over on Blue Sky, champion Blue Sky, and be like, get off that other hell site. Like, shout out to Flavor Flav. But it's like, and it births so many moments. Like, whenever Beyonce does something, you cannot tell me there's not a million Beyonce. I'm so sorry, Beyonce.
For the people who don't remember this moment, okay. So there's a girl in the house, a woman in the house named Hottie. And Heidi, every time she blinks, you hear the dollar signs in her eyes. Like literally, they put the dollar signs in her eyes. So you hear the ching 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 every time she blinks. And she's talking to the woman, and she decides to announce, like, well, all my friends say I look like Beyonce. And the other women fall out laughing. And New York is beside herself. She's like, Beyonce? Beyonce? You look like Luther Vandross. Beyonce, I am so sorry, sweetie.
Hottie was the original Delulu villain too. Like when she put that damn whole chicken in that microwave. And
it had like carrots and pasta on it. Like it was just like,
oh my God. Oh my, I loved it. What was her name? The we drinking strawberries.
Goldie and champagne.
The chicken was lovely. Did y'all like the chicken?
Hey man, Goldie was robbed.
Yes.
Also, the spit heard around the world. Pumpkin. So I know this season very well. New York started off relatively normal. Okay. If nothing else, she was kind of feeling like I'm not here to play the games with y'all. I'm above it.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, y'all are here making friends and stuff. I'm here for Flavor Flav. That's my man. I'm taking him home. Episode 1, she was like, I'm in love with him. That's it.
Yep.
There are a few fights that happen throughout the season, mostly because people are trying to get under her skin, and it's really hard because she's more annoying than them. They're like trying their best. Some girl is in the backseat like, shut the fuck up, like yelling, and she's like, New York's not bothered. It gets down to the final 3. You got New York, Hoops, and Pumpkin, and Pumpkin is eliminated. And on her way out, she goes over to Hoops because it would just be too much like right. Yeah, but it would just be like too much like right for Pumpkin to take her L and walk away. No. She goes over to Hoops. Hoops, love, I hope you win it all. I hope that she, like basically trying to antagonize New York. New York is like, bye, Pumpkin.
Bye, Pumpkin.
And she's like, honestly, I could slap you right now if you can't do anything about it because I'm already eliminated. And New York says, do it. Slap me. And Pumpkin just hocks a loogie. And
that's slow motion. That's slow motion.
Everybody at home like, no. New York attacks.
And I don't blame her because I never wanted to put my hands on somebody more.
Right. She pushed that girl into the camera. The camera is shaking. She's like, she's so mad.
She dropped that. That register went low. She's
you fucking whore. How dare you put your nasty spell on me? And Flavor Flav was beside himself. He was like, what? But he will go on to not pick New York and bring her back for a second season only to open the same wound, Flav. The same wound. And again, created a monster. And I mean a monster in a good way. A monster of a television character.
Yeah. Somebody who knows how to work the system. It sucks that my favorite quote from season 2 is so problematic.
Oh God. It's not like I love it. Like Delicious in her
Give it
mom's
up,
classic hair.
Delicious.
Give it up, Delicious, and look like a man. Like straighten up that neck. She said, she said, Becky, what'd she say? With her trailer park part down the
middle. When I tell you, I say give it up, Delicious. At
you do
least,
say it a lot.
all the time.
You said one of the first podcasts I listened to you on, you said give it up, Delicious, and I was at home like, that's my friend. I don't like why he gets it. Even there's so many memes too. Like, do you know you have 30 minutes? You have 30 minutes. You know you have 30 minutes. Like that goes around all the time. It's just so many moments were made from Flavor of Love. So I had to give it a shout out because when I tell you I watched this religiously and it led to all the other shows that I end up going on to be obsessed with.
Yeah, it just it's culture sifting. Such a good show.
I mean, we could have made this whole podcast about Flavor of Love, and I would have been okay.
Yes.
Like, okay. Let us know in the comments if you want to Flavor of Love podcast. Because look,
Yeah.
we ain't really got to rewatch it that well. He's just like, I'll be like, remember this, and we'll just talk about it.
Yep.
Okay. I wonder what's next. Let's see. Next up, what number are we on? 7.
7.
We're almost done.
I don't know why I yelled.
7.
Oh yes, the Boondocks.
Yes.
Should have known.
Yeah, it was coming.
So good.
The show broke me. It was everything that I wanted, right? It was Black comedians, like literally, like Black comedian people I've seen do stand up were literally in this show. It was animated cartoon like Family Guy, it was like just a whack, like it was everything that I ever wanted in a show in one. And you got these little kids and they cussing a little bit, but whatever.
A little bit.
I mean, that's how I like they cuss a little bit, but it's all right. But I don't know. I think like even as a child, like I used to think this is a lot because I was always in my head. I was like in my imagination a lot. So I was open to new ideals. And the Boondocks was giving you a very like a satirical look at some of the stuff that were happening in our day-to-day life and history and stuff like that that was normalized in my community, right? But when I started watching the Boondocks, I started thinking, hey, maybe this stuff isn't supposed to be like this. Like, should you be shooting somebody over stepping on your shoes? You know? Like, is it worth the nigga moment? So and so I started thinking like, oh wow, this show is very smart. It's like it's telling you, like it's showing you all the wacky things that happen around you. Like it almost organically, like this is how they are, but also showing you how absurd they really are, right? So like the idea that Pimp My Ride exists. They use Pimp My Ride on the Boondocks, and it's like granddad's car is getting made over, and he wants a fish tank in the dashboard, and like the wheels are spinning and stuff like that. And like this old man just needs a car that drives, but he wants. Yeah, but like, bro, like he brought in Exhibit, and it's like these are shows. They're referencing things that are happening in my real life, and they're making fun of them in a way that is understandable for someone who was like me, who was looking for like some commentary about this kind of stuff. You and I talked about the Boondocks. We kind of introduced Tyrone to it in a way.
That was very fun.
I thoroughly enjoyed it because it was like I was back. It was a show that I watched. I know intimately. I remember I bought the first season on DVD from the pawn shop. I bought the second season on DVD from Walmart because at that point I was like, look, I can't wait for it to hit the pawn shop. I need it now. Third season, bought it again. I had them and I used to watch them religiously. I used to wake up and hear that damn doom 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 doom. Like I would hear that in my sleep, Mari. This is my show.
Yes, and the Boondocks, the first season, like hitting while being in high school, and then the second season hitting in college.
Yeah.
Was such an experience. Watching like the Boondocks with my college friends is such a time like etched into my life and my mind that it's just you can't replace it. Like this cartoon was so good because like you said, it examined things about our community in a way that was funny but made you think. And like to this day, me and my friends will quote, "Gangsta-licious, my rhymes too vicious, eat MCs all day, delicious."
Oh yeah, favorite Boondocks quotes would be impossible for me to
We
do.
went over.
because
Go listen to our Boondocks coverage.
because it's every line for me when he's
Yeah.
like, white people know how to take time out to study, and they arrest you. Like that kind of like that kills me. That kills me. When he's just like, granddad, you cannot upset the white supremacy power structure with cheese. He's like, yes, I can, boy. Like that kind of stuff kills
Yep.
me.
Cheddar biscuits. Who don't get the cheddar biscuits, granddad?
I'm not even eating cheddar biscuit. Random bra eating cheddar biscuits, you know.
Game recognized game, and you looking unfamiliar.
Game recognized. Your granddaddy knows the game. Now, she saw piss coming. She said, I saw piss coming. I moved. Yeah. And why do I gotta miss out on the next R. Kelly album just for that? And if R. Kelly goes to jail, I'll piss on your cat. Yeah, okay. So, clearly, brain rot.
I think to myself, damn, what did he do to make them niggas so mad?
She said, who's gonna feed Sammy Davis Jr. a pony? Well, you don't have to have a pony right now. What am I gonna be? A 51-year-old woman with a pony? Did she run really, really fast in high heels, granddad? Like racing to the car.
A pimp named Slickback. You gotta say the whole thing like a Tribe Called Quest.
It's a pimp named Slickback. Say it with me now.
Say it with me now.
Yeah, so that's the Boondocks. If you haven't watched it, again, I can do a whole podcast on just the quotes alone. Every episode. The first episode I remember seeing, and I think again, this is another show. I think Minute One Day One. It was the dinner party episode. They kept airing the commercial on Cartoon Network. The government is lying to you about 9/11. Jesus is black, and Ronald Reagan is the devil. Yep. And then all the white people start freaking out, and then cut to Huey, Uncle Ruckus, etc., etc., etc. Don't trust those new niggas over there playing in the background. I remember that one episode where they were doing they were talking about slavery, and Granddad was Uncle Ruckus was basically talking about like the story of Catcher Freeman, and the slaves they was out there on the plantation. He was trying to make it seem like they were happy. And so they were out there like playing like hand games and eating watermelon snow cones and stuff and margaritas. It was like watermelon martinis. And you hear "Don't trust them new niggas" in the background as a Negro spiritual. He said, Ruckus, don't trust them new niggas. It's not a Negro spiritual. Don't trust them new niggas over there. I was just like, who did this? Aaron Magruder deserves prison time, but also come back.
Please.
Come back. We need just one more season. And the one thing that pissed me off the most about this show is that people do not understand that it's satire. That drives me effing crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not supposed to agree with Riley. You're just not.
You're not.
You're
just like you're not supposed to agree with Cartman. You're not supposed to agree with Riley.
If you agree with them, you need to examine what's going on here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Whew. Okay. I didn't know who was gonna get to the Boondocks one because that's a lot. That's a lot to unpack. There's not a lot of shows left on this list.
You're at, is this 9?
I think this is 8.
Okay. Can't remember. Oh yeah, so you did pick one of our
I did.
Unlike me.
Number 8 is Atlanta. I mean, the best way I can put it, Mari, is that like this is the most fun I've had talking about a show. I think that when we talked about the last season of Atlanta, the last two. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was just perfect timing. I think the show was amazing. The cast had gone from relative nobodies to megastars, and we didn't even know if they were coming back to give us another season. Like all of them, I believe,
2 back to back.
Right. I believe all of them have been in Oscar-nominated films. Every last one of them.
Yes.
And there are a couple Oscar nominations amongst them as well.
Yes.
And so they come back, And the show has taken a turn. It is no longer the Atlanta about like walking the streets, trying to make a rap career happen, trying to be a producer. Paperboy's now they are famous now. Paperboy's on a world tour. They have made it, and now we get to talk about it on post show recaps. Mari, me, you, and Latanya. This was so much fun.
It was. It was just a great little time in our lives where it felt like our own, like something. It was our little baby that we were given like complete control of. And then on top of that, intelligent Black prestige television that also had joy and fun in it. Breaking down those 2 seasons with you guys was like some of the best times of my life, and really trying to understand the surrealism that Atlanta, ends up with, like where, from like you said, the beginning was so fun. That we had a season where half the episodes the gang wasn't even in, and we still like
showed up,
figured it out. Yeah.
It's very American Dad and Family. I'm a Family Guy and Boondocks coded, right? Where it's it's taking real situations and kind of making satire out of them, but also like in a smart way. It makes total sense. There's so many cutaways as well when it comes to like the episodes that have nothing to do with anything that have to do with the plot. Like it's like as I said this earlier, all these shows have like developed into like this one person who is Chappell, and they all have like a through line, right? Like there's no shock here that I would like Atlanta because I like the Boondocks and I like Family Guy and I like American Dad, right? Like it's like those things went together, and I liked Comic View. It's like you put all that together, and Atlanta's in there somewhere. We had some of the best conversations. Meeting you and Latanya has been a joy as well because, like, again, we watch a lot of TV, but there's not a lot of people who watch as much TV as we do. And so to sit around and have ridiculously like in-depth conversations about shit that doesn't matter or the shit that matters, but it's disguised as an episode of Atlanta about a Black owner of a sushi restaurant.
To this day, oh my God. Like I can't. The omakase, it's the first thing I think of. Why is this warm? Why is I'm gonna go get some Popeyes.
Oh my God. So many episodes. We talked about colorism. We talked about passing. We talked about, so much went into our conversations about.
We talked about the curse of Lake Lanier.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. We were trying to put y'all on game. Y'all weren't listening back then. Y'all gotta go check out. Y'all gotta go check out the old archives of the Atlanta days. Also, since we're there, Insecure was another show we talked about in depth. We had to jump in at the end. It was kind of a hallmark of what we were doing back then. Also, Snowfall almost made the list in this spot instead. But I feel like Atlanta to me was the most impactful.
It was. I think it really had us honing in our abilities, to say the least. Yeah. And it was so fun. It really was just so incredibly fun to cover. But I just love that Atlanta and Insecure like represent like such a high echelon of Black television that we were getting in like 2016, like the mid 2010s. And I now that both of them are done, both Atlanta and Insecure, like I need something else, y'all. Come on, let's get some more of this, and let's not get canceled, please. Ugh.
Yeah, it's probably gonna get canceled. Whatever. This is a whole,
Did you see there was like an article of like, oh, why can there never be a Black Sex in the City? And they had Insecure on there as like why like a failure, like as like it didn't make sense. Like that article, I was like, this article is stupid. One, because we don't need a Black Sex in the City.
Right.
And two, like some of the like they had Living Single, Girlfriends, and Insecure. I was like, first off, Living Single, we all know is Black Friends. It's Friends is the white version of Living Single. And like Girlfriends was successful,
Yep, very much
and
so.
so was Insecure. Like I think where they really were trying to aim at like Harlem. Like I could see kind of trying to aim at Harlem or Run the World.
Mhm.
But honestly, I was just like Insecure. If you're lumping in Insecure and Sex in the City, I feel like I can't trust your judgment. 'Cause those are two totally different things. Sorry, I didn't
Yeah.
mean to hijack the conversation, but
No, no. If you
yes.
think Insecure was a failure, you missed the plot. You missed the entire
Exactly.
show. Keep
Yes,
watching it.
on top of it not being a failure. But
Right.
like
Yeah.
what?
Oh man. Yeah. So yeah, shout out to post show recaps and the connect on post show recaps. Um Speaking of Brian Tyree Henry is in an upcoming show coming up on Apple TV. I saw the
Yes.
trailer today and I
That's
was
why
like,
you sent it to us.
my first thought when I saw the trailer was, you remember the Changeling on Apple TV? How they just canceled that? I'm not finna do this
Oh,
with y'all
right.
again. How about that? How about I'm not finna do this with y'all? How about that?
Oh,
So
no.
I'll check it out, but let's not cancel the show. Let's give it a chance.
Mhm.
All right. Next up,
Ooh. Ooh, this is good. I would
is
I love BoJack. And
is
BoJack is
BoJack.
so you coded. Oh my god.
BoJack is the best show I've ever watched.
Full stop. Period.
Yep, that's the sentence. BoJack,
Mhm.
I I don't even know how to start here. So I didn't watch it in real time when it was first out. I
Mhm.
had heard about it, but I think like by that time I was like fully in watching reality TV. Like I really wasn't
Right.
watching a lot of like cartoon animated stuff like at that point. But Kirsten and Lindsay over on the BoJack Horse Pod, they started their podcast, and
Shout
I
out to
remember I
them.
was I was podcasting on RJP, and Kirsten kept saying, "You gotta try and watch BoJack. You gotta watch BoJack. You gotta watch BoJack." And I was like, "I'll watch it."
Mhm.
And I started watching it. I was several episodes in, kind of watching it like, oh, this is a funny cartoon. It's kind of deep, but okay, it's fine. And I I think I remember the moment where I was like, oh wait, this might be a lot of TV. Like this is not the same as I think this is different. This is a different type of beast. Um, BoJack had hidden something from Todd, and Todd, of course, doesn't find out. Todd had been putting his hard work into, I believe, his rock opera, and
Mhm.
BoJack kind of like he sabotages it by giving Todd a video game for him to get addicted to. We find out later on that it's BoJack. In the moment, we don't know, but later on, by the end of the episode, you find out that it's BoJack sabotaging his friend so that he doesn't like outgrow him and move on, and he can still live on his couch. And I sat there watching the episode. I sat there when that moment happens. I'm just like, damn, BoJack, that's kind of messed up. Like that sucks.
Mhm.
Like you suck. And I was thinking, damn, now I gotta keep watching this show to find out how they redeem this character. And from there, I'm on the roller coaster ride of a lifetime. I do not like emotional shows. I do not like,
I
as you
know
can
you
see,
don't.
everything we've named to this point has been laughing, joking. I don't think I've named something that wasn't at least a little funny. BoJack had me in a blender. I'll talk about. I remember sitting on the edge of my bed at night one time, being like, "Damn, like they really did Princess Caroline like that, for real."
Whew.
And fuck that mouse. Like I was sitting on the edge of my bed. That damn owl showed up.
Mhm.
I lost sleep over that last season of BoJack Horseman. Mari, I know you like
Mhm.
BoJack as well. This
Yeah.
might be like Survivor is my favorite show of all time. It's got the longest run. It's been consistent in my life. It's gone nowhere. It's given me so much. BoJack probably means like it's pretty close for this show to be so new for that to me to feel so strongly about this.
Yes. And when I say BoJack is you coded, I don't mean like the asshole part. Not that
I
part.
feel that as
But
well.
all the other
Or the drug use. You know.
anyways. So BoJack Horseman. I was the same way. I think I didn't start watching until season 4. Yes, season 4, which is my that is my favorite season of BoJack. Um and because my cousin-in-law was like, "You gotta watch BoJack Horseman. You gotta watch BoJack Horseman." I was like, "Okay, whatever, whatever." I watched it. I want to say that weirdly, the first episode that actually stuck with me was the underwater episode with no words.
That went from my least favorite episode to my favorite episode, back to my least favorite episode, and now it's my favorite episode again. So yeah, I understand.
Right. It's not even about being a favorite episode. It just was something so different that it made me like finally like sit up and be like, huh, you know? Yeah. But BoJack in itself, it has one of the greatest representations of like alcoholism, anxiety, like mental health issues that aren't necessarily portrayed in TV shows, let alone animated TV shows. It is just astounding. It's an astounding piece of work. Death. Oh my God, the last season, like you said, how they animate and picture death shook me to my core. I'm like, oh my God. Sarah Lynn's final episode.
Woof.
To this day. His mother's episode.
Yeah.
To this day.
Day.
It's like, and then on the flip side of all of like the like really emotional episodes or the real like thought-provoking episodes, you have like you have like the fracking episode where all the celebrities get caught.
Shout out to RuPaul.
Yes. Yeah. I get caught in Mr. Peanut Butter's like collapsed house. Like you have all of that, you know? And it is the funniest show.
Yeah.
And then you watch, you know, like you said, Princess Caroline's episode Ruthie. And it's just like, why are we it makes you feel so many emotions. Like BoJack makes you feel so many emotions. And some of them aren't good. Some of them are like BoJack, just be a better person.
Be better. Do better, BoJack.
Do better, you know? And not just him, but Diane too. Like
awful humans. And BoJack awful horse, you know? Yeah.
It's so good. And all of this in the backdrop of like anthropomorphic animals. Like it's so like the vehicle is so weird, but it delivers such a punch. My God, I might have to go and watch BoJack.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna watch it as well after this. Just because it's my comfort show in the same way Grey's Anatomy is my comfort show.
Yeah,
because I am not an emotional person by any stretch of imagination. Like my emotions kind of go from like happy to jovial to excited to like up here. It's kind of like the scales only on this side. Every now and then I get annoyed, but I'm rarely like depressed or sad. And if I am, I'm probably still laughing and joking my way through it because look at what I've been watching my whole life, right? And I understand BoJack on like a molecular level. Like the horse, me and the horse understand each other because he's the same way as I am. He's gonna laugh and joke his way through every serious moment in life. The problem is he's not a good person / horse. And so, you know, the times where, you know, where someone, like I said, I understand him. I don't necessarily relate to the things that he does, but when his thought process gets going, I can see the mistake he's about to make. And I see it a mile away.
He can see it too.
Yeah. And it's like I'm with him on the journey. Everything that he does, I'm like, watch BoJack do this. And then he does it. It's like, he doesn't shock me. Like I said, that one time he shocked me. And then from there, I was like, no, I understand. I get this horse. Okay. BoJack Horseman.
Wait,
one of the greatest shows of all time.
Shocked you?
Like I said, that first time when he sabotaged Todd. Because I wasn't watching the show that closely. I wasn't really paying attention.
Right.
And that episode really made me stop and think like, damn, well, why would you do that to your friend? And then I realized what I was watching. And there are so many episodes where I've watched them a billion times and they're like the saddest episode ever, but I'm dying laughing throughout. And then at the end, you're like, damn, I forgot this was a sad episode. Yeah,
some of my favorite episodes are the sad ones.
Yeah. The last season, I made my cousin watch all of BoJack, and he watched the last season without me. He would come over to the house and we would watch BoJack, and then like I'd fall asleep because I'd seen it a billion times, but he would watch it. And one time I like woke up, I was like, which episode are you on? He's like, season. He was like, the last season. I was like, wait, are you okay? He's like, nah, I don't know. Like, why you got me watching this? He's like, I'm examining my own childhood and my own upbringing and this, that, and the other. I was like, yeah, because you kind of have to watch him, BoJack. You just, you know?
That last season was just pitch perfect. Like the narrative of, okay, did BoJack finally turn the corner? Is he finally a better person? Only for it to be like, doesn't matter because now all of the horrible shit that he's done over the past few seasons is finally coming to light, and he's finally
Yeah.
like getting his like comeuppance through it. And it's like, oh my god, that last season.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, that's it. The last season is just like, damn, you was a bad person for so long that like now
They
your chickens
stuck
come to
that
roost.
fucking landing. They stuck that
Yeah,
fucking landing.
it's so good. It really is.
Mhm.
Um and yeah, it's so introspective. It's so funny. It's so well written. It's smart. The cast is crazy. Like they're bringing in like it's such a diverse cast in general. Just like the people they bring in, the cameos, all that kind of stuff. It's so fun, but also like deeply troubling. And and like now that we're talking about it, and I have to be introspective. Like yeah, I grew up in a chaotic household. So there's a lot of BoJack where it is deeply relatable. Where I'm like, damn, that sucks. It's like, and like, what did you do, Chappell, to kind of, medicate from all of the things that you saw in your childhood? It's like, I started to laugh. I started to make people laugh because I thought,
Mhm.
that was it. That's how you heal. And I watched BoJack basically have the same struggle I have, but kind of lose. And so, yeah, that's BoJack.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Ooh, I am looking at this episode list of BoJack.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, like
Yeah.
like my body is getting anxious thinking of some of those episodes.
So good. It's my show. Like I said, I watch it when I'm happy, and I watch it like when I'm bored, and it makes me go through all those range of emotions. But I feel like I can feel watching BoJack and Grace, the only two shows that I can make me feel every time,
Hmm,
and then I can turn it off and go back to being happy. That's all I get.
there you
Let me
go.
turn it on, get some emotions in here, and then go back to where things are normal. Okay.
Mhm.
Um.
It helps
Yeah.
you get those emotions out.
It really does. Like I had to like really sit with BoJack for a while. I was shocked that nobody like I felt like people were undersold the show to me. Like I was like, but then I thought about it. I
Right?
was like, yeah, well, I was like, people said it was good, but nobody told me I was gonna be sitting here examining my own childhood, right?
Exactly.
And I don't think everybody has to. I don't think BoJack means that for everybody, but for me, it hit
Mm,
the nail on the head.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Growing up a rodeo clown, like that's kind of the thing. From BoJack is like, how do you grow up to be literally like a show, your whole time.
I
And then
just
yeah.
I just look at some of the episode titles and I'm like, "Oh my god." Like I'm free churro and I am
Yes. Oh,
done.
um,
Time 0. Mm, get me out of here.
there's the episode with when BoJack is firing Princess Caroline, and the whole episode she just refuses to be fired, and she's just like, BoJack,
Yeah.
you are my friend. We go way back. I've tried it all. But I am begging you, give me another chance. And it's just gut wrenching because he's just kind of like, nah. It's just like, damn. Um, it's like, whoo. Dang, woo, you took me there, man. All right. That was number 9, Mari.
Okay, what's 10? Let's close it out.
All right. Before BoJack, my favorite prestige television show of all time. Abbott Elementary. Abbott's here. Abbott's current. Abbott
It's
is
amazing.
it
It's the
is
moment.
it is the moment. It is the most fun I have talking about television currently. I
Mhm.
get to talk
Oh,
about it with
damn.
Gia every other week. No, as far as like current shows, me
I'm
and you
just
don't talk
playing.
about current shows, but yes, this is the current television show that I'm so happy. Like the same way where I really felt like I got to bond with
Honestly.
you and Latanya over like Atlanta. Me and Gia are doing like we're having so much fun talking about Abbott. It's so smart. I'm an educator. Went to school
Mm,
for working for education. Lloyd worked in education for a long time. I've seen I've seen things. I've seen these same
mhm,
problems in these school districts on a like granular level, right? And so to see them reflected in this predominantly black school, I grew up in predominantly black schools. At no point have I ever been in a school where I was in the majority. Like it has just never happened.
mm,
There's elementary school, middle school, high school, college. It was just I just never was surrounded by people who didn't look like me. So we had a lot of these same systemic issues, a lot of the same, like you're in a poorer school district or your school gets overlooked because it doesn't have a lot of like, wealthy people or taxpayers around. Like you're kind of in an area that kind of gets that has to fend for itself, and you have to have teachers who will go above and beyond to be that for these kids, to be what the kids need to just get a baseline education, not go above and beyond for them to get like, this is not the best education in the world. They're just trying to make it, get these kids books, rugs to sit on, stuff like that. That's the kind of world that I grew up in. And then I became a teacher for that exact reason. I went on to do those same exact things. So I've seen the people in Abbott Elementary in my real life. I see them reflected on the show. I see them reflected in the kids. And I know how hard it is to live in that life. And so for them to be able to tell this story about this elementary school with these amazing characters, the teachers, the students, and to make it honest and funny, this is just like perfect television for me right now.
It is so good to just have something that's joyful. Like, honestly, something that's predominantly Black, like you said, and be joyful, be funny, like a sitcom that we do not need to infuse think pieces into it or horrible situations. I think, I don't know if you and Gia talked about it, but people saying like, oh, Abbott should do like a school shooting to bring awareness.
Like,
No,
what?
no,
No.
no.
Shoot up the other schools. Don't shoot up Abbott.
Exactly. Like it is just such pure fun. Like we need that right now. We need that, period. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Quinta. She really like just created something that we all needed. Like so many people relate to this show. Also, she is a comedic genius. She was just on Drag Race this past week, and she was there for a comedy challenge, and she was giving them notes, and my God, she was there for the Snatch Game. You might want to watch that episode. She was there for the Snatch Game, and on Untucked, she came and she was the comedic note she was giving the girls. I was like, this lady is smart. Like Quinta knows comedy.
Smart.
She's smart. Like it was so funny. Like she would talk. She would be on the judges panel. She would tell like one of the girls like, you did your character like this. You should have did the character kind of like this. And every time she would do it, RuPaul would be like, ah! RuPaul would chuckle like every time, because every suggestion that she gave to improve them is like the funniest thing. Like she is just brilliant, like has a brilliant mind for comedy, and I just love to see her win as somebody who like started doing like internet skits for BuzzFeed, for her to be on this Emmy winning show that she produced, created, stars in, that brings so much joy to people, reviving people's careers. Like just astounding. I can't say anything else about Abbott. It's just so good.
This is my current favorite sitcom. Is my current favorite, like, scripted show right now. I have no notes. To me, it's a perfect product. Every episode is very, like, you can tell there's a lot of care in it. The cast, you can tell that there's a lot of like Quinta put so much of herself into, the project. I think that they highlight the children in a way that is just very smart and also very honest. And I think that they approach these subjects that are happening in the schools, charter schools, whether it's, how local strikes and stuff like that can affect community, whatever the case may be. They address it all in a way that makes you still laugh and smile at the end of the day. And it's like, they want to teach you, but they want the medicine to go down, in a like easy way, right? And that's something that I aspire to do. Like, right, when me and you and LaTanya talk about Atlanta and Snowfall and Insecure, we could easily get on there and be like, and this is why white people be tripping, But who wants to hear that? Like, there are definitely ways that you can maybe like enlighten people of to like, different struggles of different communities, XYZ, without always being so finger waggy. It's like nobody want to get
I
fussed at every
agree.
time they turn on,
Yeah.
turn on the TV or turn on the podcast or whatever. And so Abbott does a really good job of being like, hey, let me highlight this one thing that you might not have thought about, and then kind of show you the humanity around it by showing you the kids and the people who are affected by it. And so,
Mhm.
yeah, this is number 10, Mari.
So number 10.
Yeah.
I learned so much about you, Chappelle, even though we could learn more. Um,
Well,
you
there's
guys,
always movies, Mari.
I was gonna say, or people signed the petition to get Chappelle on Matt's Pod Friends, uh, one day.
This is basically Pod Friends. So let's just send this to Matt. He can do his little introduction and then just play this same episode. Because I ain't going on Pod Friends. I can't tell all my business.
Okay. So, Chappelle, I feel like I infinitely know you way more now. Thank you for sharing. I will continue to pull information out of you as much as I possibly can for the people. Everybody listening, please in the comments in the notes show some Chappelle some love. Give us your input on his TV shows and all of that.
Yeah, I love that. Like looking at your list, it was like, okay, here's how Mari is like. She's funny, but also she's a science person. And, da, 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 da. And me
While
throughout was
also
just like,
cursing
he's a
like a
comedian. Right, yeah. But me
sailor.
is like, this man is a clown, and that's it. Like, he is a clown. Pretty one note throughout.
No, no, we get it. We get it.
Yeah. Dang, that's crazy. That felt very therapeutic to talk about it because I didn't
It
realize how
does.
much of the TV that I watched really felt like I could put myself in a place and time of when I was watching it, and kind
Mhm.
of, you know, the environment that I was in kind of made me feel like yeah, this was part of my growing up. It wasn't something I was just doing. It was just something I experienced.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's
Alright,
it. That's 10 shows about
we gotta do our
Chappelle.
plugs.
The
Yeah.
10 greatest shows of all time, according to Chappelle. Let us know what you think about it. Put it in the comments. Make sure you join our Facebook group, recapkickback.com/Facebook. Let us know what you think. YouTube comments, obviously, Instagram, all that good stuff. Let us know. TikTok is back in the App Store. So Recap Kickback is back
Oh,
on
is it?
TikTok. Yeah.
Aren't they about to pull it again though?
But at least I downloaded it now, so at least
Oh,
okay, we're good
okay.
for a little bit. At least until they take it away, I'm not gonna lose it this time. So yeah, you can message me on all social media platforms at Recap Kickback and let us know what you thought, and then let us know what you would like to hear us talk about next
Mhm.
because it's still Black History Month, and
It still is. Surprisingly, this has been the longest Black History.
been the longest Black History Month. It's like, is this a leap year? What is going on? You know, this okay. This is nice. Like y'all got money this Black History Month. Even though I think
Right.
technically it got canceled. Didn't it get canceled? I thought.
I
Y'all
they
president
ain't
saying it.
canceling. Nope, they ain't
Y'all
canceling my
president.
Black History Month. Nope.
Y'all president said.
Not mine. Not mine.
Mm-mm.
Mm,
Mm-mm.
mm,
Mm-mm.
mm, mm, mm,
Mm-mm.
mm.
Mm-mm. Yeah. Mari, tell everybody where they can find you, what you're working on.
Of course, here every week. But other than that, over on the Crime Scene podcast, if you go to crimescenepod.com, that's crime, SEEN pod.com. You can listen to me and Sarah Carradine break down true crime documentaries, docuseries, docudramas, rate them, and tell you if you should watch them. This week, we had a very special guest, my dad. Now, if you
Yes.
want to delve deep into my psyche, definitely go and listen to this week's episode. My dad joined us to talk about Surviving Black Hawk Down. It's a 3-part docuseries on Netflix that talks about the Battle of Mogadishu, also known as the Day of the Rangers in Somalia, or also known as Black Hawk Down. It's based the movie Black Hawk Down is based on this battle, and the docu series was a very like tough watch in like the subject matter, but a very necessary watch. And me, Sarah, and my dad, Tony, had a great time, like really talking about it and breaking it down. And it was so fun to share that with him, because my dad has his own podcast. He's had his own podcast for a year now too as well. So if you want to hear a little bit more about my life as a military brat, definitely go there. And of course, Crime Scene Pod is over on The Good Place, Blue Sky at Crime Scene Pod. We are still in the bad place as well, but just go check us out. Leave some ratings and reviews, subscribe, all that good stuff. Over on the Love at First Sight feed with Jason and Asia, I'm still covering season 18 of Married at First Sight with them. A doozy of a season. A doozy. We had an amazing live episode last week that broke the internet. So you can go check that out over on the Rob Has a Podcast YouTube page and subscribe to the Love at First Sight feed as well. Chappell, what do you got going on?
I'm doing a lot, but I'm only going to promote Recap Kickback. So check out our Brand Steel here. We got our Black History Month Brand Steel with our cartoon characters playing Survivor. Me, Gia, and 8 Ball Bangers Isaiah himself are going to take you through that simulation this week. And then next week, Gia and I think Abbott is taking a week off. And so Gia and I will be back next week to talk about more Abbott Elementary. And then Mario and I will be talking about other things as well as the month goes on. You can catch me on the Pro Pants podcast as well, where I talked to Bryce Isaiah about Luther Vandross, the Never Too Much documentary. It was a fun time. I listened back to it. It was incredible. It was so much fun talking to Brycey. Happy birthday to the Purple Pants badass. Because his birthday coincides with Black History Month and Recap Kickback. And so we celebrated all that stuff and more this month. Yeah, that's it. You catch me here, Recap Kickback, all social media platforms at Recap Kickback. And make sure you subscribe and tune in next week to see what Mario and I have in store for you coming next. Oh shit! Also, I don't want to miss this plug. I'm going to be joining the Was It Good Though podcast, people, because this week they're recording this week, so it'll come soon. I'll make sure to post a link. They're talking about the movie Django, and I have opinions about Django, and so I'll be joining them, and I'll make sure to put that link in our community section on the YouTube page and on the Facebook group, because every time we promote us, we're gonna promote Was It Good Though as well, because they party with us and we party with them. So you check that out. Check me out talking about Django. If you want to hear somebody drag Quentin Tarantino, I am the guy. And so tune into that, and tune in next time to Recap Kickback. For Mario and for myself, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. We'll talk to you next time. Peace. I've been trapped behind Swall Maria, isolated like it's North Korea. Smaller city with some bigger dreamers. The wall is cracked, I'm looking in between it. The world is yours, but man, I gotta see it. They say it's hard, but man, I gotta see it. The air I'm breathing can't feel my chest. Wait on life, I wanna hold my breath. I'ma get in my goddamn self.